went over a point too quickly, or a really good question comes up and she needs to interject at that point. Otherwise, put the questions in the chat. She'll respond to them as quickly as she can, and we'll get started into the actual presentation. Like I said, please mute your microphone. Looks like most everybody is. It just detracts from the presentation. It gets very loud sometimes if people have multiple devices on, and there's a very loud, shrill echo that happens. So make sure that your microphones are muted, unless we've asked you for your voice. We're going to use the chat for questions, as already mentioned. Sherry will be answering that, and turn off your microphone, or turn off your cameras if you wish. You can keep them on if you like. I actually kind of like them being on, so I can kind of see facial expressions and know, like, oh, are you getting it, or thumbs up, or people looking very confused, or again swearing at me through the screen. I know that I need to stop and slow down and do something over again. So turn on your cameras if you like, and if you don't, I completely understand. Today we're going to be talking about Flipgrid. Flipgrid, for this agenda today, I'm going to have you go in as a student. I'm going to have you record a post for me, and then ask you to reply to each other. So in a few moments, I'm going to go silent, let you do the recording. I'm going to show you where to go to get to the information and to get to the point where you're going to record. Then we're going to talk about how do we create an account, how do we create a grid, how do we create a topic. So we're going to go through all that in just a moment. And then we're going to talk about brainstorming ideas. What are the best practices that you would want with Flipgrid? It is a wonderful tool that is something that is probably very underappreciated. Flipgrid is an asynchronous tool. Right now, we're talking synchronously. We're online together at the same time. You can ask questions in real time. I'm hopefully going to be able to respond to them. You're watching me live, so all the things that are going on right now, it's live. And if things get messed up, you're going to see all the errors along the way. What's great about Flipgrid is it's asynchronous. In other words, we all have students, right? So if we have students who do not have access to a device at that exact moment in time that we're online, they don't have a way to communicate with us. Flipgrid allows them to communicate with us on their time schedule, and we know that it's not necessarily that they don't want to be with you at 10 o'clock on Friday. There might be another sibling that needs to be online at 10 o'clock on Friday, or they just don't have access to a device at that particular time. What's also nice about this is they get to choose where they want to make their video. There's a app on the phone you can get that works very well with this. Again, they get a code, or they get an assignment from you. They open it up and they can record. It's a perfect way to communicate that is not that allows students who can't talk right now to have a conversation with you. So it's a fantastic tool, and we'll talk about other ways that can be used down the road. So what I would like you to do, oops, this is the wrong one. Yikes. Sorry, guys. Let me go here. Is this the one that I want? I've made so many copies of different things that things starting to lose track of everything. Sorry, guys. You're going to go to, if this pops up for me. See, just like I said, those live hiccups. If you're using Flipgrid, you could stop and recapture yourself, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. All right, so I'm going to go down and post this in the stream. In our chat, I should say. And hopefully this will drop in. There we go. So if you go to that link, or copy and paste that into, open up a new tab, copy and paste that in, we're going to flipgrid.com. There is a code there, and this is password protected, and the password is foodie20, so FOODIE 20. And I'll leave that up on the screen. What I would like you to do when you get there is click the green button to do a recording. Record yourself answering my prompt. You can watch my video first if you like, but answer my prompt, and then take a few minutes and reply to somebody else. Okay, so I'm gonna go silent here for the next few minutes. I will post this again because I know that people join in a few minutes after we start. I'll post the link again, and we'll respond to you on the chat. So I'll be quiet so I don't interrupt your recording. All right. So I'm going to go silent. Go ahead and hop on in and do some recording. All right, hopefully that was enough time for everybody to at least record their response. I made the response time very short, so nobody could go on and on about their favorite restaurant for 10 minutes. Oh, hopefully that was a long enough time to record and hopefully give some responses to some of your classmates right now. So first things we want to do is talk about how do we get into Flipgrid and set up an account. To create a Flipgrid account, you're going to go to flipgrid.com. That's simple. And on the upper right-hand corner, when you get there, there is an educator sign up button. We highly recommend that you use the sign up with Google. This is a completely free application. All right. This is something that because of the kind of the battle back and forth between Google and Microsoft and the educational space, Microsoft actually bought Flipgrid a few years ago. That means that instead of having it be a pay account where it used to be a premium and you'd have to pay for it, everything inside of Flipgrid is now completely free, thanks to Microsoft. So you have access to this. When you get to the educator sign up with Google, it's going to ask you some profile information. It just, they want to know what grade levels are using this, where does this fit into the educational space. Please provide them that information. It doesn't ask you a ton of personal stuff, just your name. And if you sign up with Google, you're using your MPS credentials, right? And then we can start creating. So I'm going to go through that path for you real quick. If you haven't done so, flipgrid.com. And this is their homepage. When you get there, you're going to click educator sign up. I'm already signed up, so I'm not going to go through that path, but you click on educator sign up. For me, because I'm already in, if you've already created an account, you click educator login and Google login. And again, we recommend the Google login path just because it is tied to our MPS account. It makes life very easy. You might get a window popping up asking you to confirm that it's you. Yep, click your MPS identity. And that's going to be important down the road because we actually have the ability to kind of wall our students off a little bit, protect them from the outside when they sign in with Google and they use their credentials if they're signed into Chrome or if they're on a Chromebook. It already takes them in and it gives us just a little bit more of a layer of protection. All right. So when you get into Flipgrid, this is if you don't have any grids, you're not going to see anything here. But when you get in, you're going to land on the you actually usually land on the My Activity page. So I'm going to walk through what all these different headers are, and then come back down and start talking about creation. So when you get into the main menu of Flipgrid, My Activity shows you just a general overview of the activity that's happened, all of your total grids, total views, time of recording, and it also gives you a view of recent posts. So it kind of is, it's a quick snapshot for you to get in and kind of see overall how things are going for you with Flipgrid. Next door to that are My Grids, and we're going to spend most of our time in there today. Your grids, or My Grids, is your mission control for everything Flipgrid. When you go in, that's where you create a grid. And the way to think about this is a grid is this kind of big overarching umbrella. It's either your class or a theme that you're going to work with. And underneath that big umbrella, you're going to have individual topics or lessons that you're going to be creating so that students interact with that. All right. When you create a grid, you have the ability to share that whole grid out and just say, guys, I'm going to leave this open and you have access to everything inside of that grid. Or you can narrow it down and go, I want you to respond to just this topic, which is what we recommend. And I'll show you again that path in a minute. This is where all of your settings live. This is how you bring in co-pilots, they call it, co-teachers. This is where most of your work is going to happen. Next door to that is Mixtape. Mixtapes are you adding a series of like highlight reels. So if you had some really great responses from students or you had some great questions, you can drop all of those into this like kind of greatest hits feel. And when people open that up, they see like the highlights, the best responses, the best posts that you put together. This is your highlight reel. Next door to that is the Grid Pals. We are not promoting this. This is like social networking. This is where you would connect with other people, or students would connect with other students, that kind of stuff. We want this to kind of be walled off for MPS at this point. We don't want that reach out to other areas. If students were to sign up for their own account and do things, that's different. If you want to sign up for a different account to do this on a personal level, cool. Maybe this is a great thing for you to do with your family and friends. But for our purposes, for the educational side, don't do that grid pal stuff. Next to that is the Disco Library. Disco Library, all these have really funny names. The Disco Library is really like a teacher's resource to Flipgrid. They have pre-made topics that you can plug in with a couple of clicks and drop into your classroom or to your grids, that you don't have to recreate the wheel. It has resources that they've attached, either videos that they've attached so kids can watch and then respond to, documents, all that kind of fun stuff. They're all pre-made, and you don't have to go in and recreate the wheel. Next door to that is Shorts, kind of like a fun spot, like TikTok-ish or those kind of apps. Again, we're not focused on that. If you want to make a great video and share out to the world because you're hilarious, awesome, do that, but just don't use your MPS account for it. Use a different path. All right. So I'm going down to slide number 7. If you're following along at home, when you land and make a grid, you're going to create a grid. Oops, jumped ahead. So making a grid, the first thing you're going to do is you have to give it a name. And again, I'm going to walk you through this path, but when you get there, you have to give it a name. And our recommendation, our very strong recommendation, is that you use the school email as one of the layers of protection. Students sign into a Chromebook with their Google credentials. This is the same thing that they're going to get when they get here. It's S number. They sign in with S number at Milwaukee. This is at milwaukee.k12.wi.us. This is a much better path, and again, layer of protection. Your Flipgrid code appears down here, but you don't need to grab that right away. There's a lot of different ways to share your grids. And down below, you click the next button, and it's just going to bring up a screen saying your code, or I'm sorry, your domain is at Milwaukee ... Yep, just to remind you that that's where this is protected. So if you go in and for some reason you see at Gmail, when you're really trying to be the school code, make sure that you're signed in the right way so that you're protected with the Google certifications. All right, so how do we make a grid? This is what it looks like when you make one. I'm going to go into my dashboard, and I'm going to go over to my grids. So again, I come down, go across from activity to my grids, and make a new grid. So that's the top hit that you have here. And the screen that I just showed you to walk through pops up. So you have to give it a name. And that's filled in one requirement. And then you have to choose these 3 options. So for teacher to student, we're really recommending this school email as your way to get in. You could create it the way that I created it for all of you to reply to my response, which is for public or PLCs. You'll notice that I did have a password, so you can protect a grid you create from this spot with a password. But again, we really want students in more of our domain and a more protected environment. But you could do this. You could share it out. All right. And I'm going to click school email and click next. And you see there's the screen that pops up at Milwaukee.k12. So I know that I'm in the right spot. And click next. It says my grid is ready. It's celebrating me, and rightfully so, because we did a lot of work. All right. So you could share this, again, you could share this big umbrella out with kids. You could share this big umbrella out with your PLC. But our suggestion is to drill down a little bit deeper, because we want to drive to a specific topic for students to reply to, or for staff to reply to. You can share it out to Google Classroom with a couple of clicks. Once I have a topic created, I'm going to show you what that looks like, but you can share these things out through this path. And you can also just copy it and send it out in an email. I'm going to go to my grid. Whenever you make a grid, they by default have a say hello on Flipgrid setting here. It's nice. It gets kids in. It's like, you know, get everybody used to this, play around a little bit, get used to the look and feel of it. It's not this graded or focused topic about a curriculum or content. This is just kind of a nice hello feeling. I'm in my grid. So again, I see my grid is here. It's Happy Friday, and I can create topics underneath. So I'm going to go to the add a new topic button. So there's going to be a whole bunch of settings we're going to talk about as we go through this. First thing you have to do is we have to give it a title. And prompt. Below that, so I gave it a title, I gave it a prompt, and then below that, I have some options, a bunch of options, and we're going to get to more of them in a second. Recording time. How long do you want to give students the opportunity to reply to you? Depending on our purpose, I think I gave you guys either 15 seconds or 30 seconds to reply to my prompt. 15 seconds, 30 seconds, all the way up to 10 minutes. For our purposes right now, we know that if our initial contacts with students, we really want them to, you know, talk to us, be a little more personalized, to go in a little bit more in depth and have a discussion back and forth. We might want to make this a little bit longer, not just 15 seconds. Hi, how are you doing? And then they get cut off at 15 seconds. So we might want to have a longer forum for this. If you are a teacher and you are asking them to be concise about some content area, you know, like tell me about the state project you're working on, tell me what the capital of the state is, tell me what the official bird is, make it a little bit more concise, cut it down to a little bit less of a time frame. If you are giving students 10 minutes to talk about a content area topic, they are not being very concise. We want them to understand the economy of going through this, being precise, hitting the important details, like a newscast, right? Like hit the facts, hit the big information, and move on. Don't go long form with it. Next door to that, this actually changed a little bit. This wasn't here the other day about video moderation, but this is a great tool for us as teachers. When you first get into a forum like this, most of us have not experienced distance learning or remote teaching. So the idea of what it looks like to have a conversation in an academic setting is going to be new to us and to students, right? So when they go in, this isn't Facebook or Instagram or those kinds of tools where they just talk to their friends. This is an academic setting. They may not fully appreciate the digital citizenship that's built into to doing this well for academics. So when they're doing this, you might want to turn on the moderation tool. What that means is before students can see other students, you have to approve the video. So there's it's in this holding space where you ask a question, they record their video, you're the one that's going to approve whether that video goes out or not. And that also means for your sanity, you might want to cut down the amount of time that they get to talk. Because if you give them 10 minutes to talk about something, you have to watch the entire 10 minutes to make sure that there isn't anything that you don't want them sharing with their fellow classmates. All right. You can record a video. So I recorded a video to give to you as a little bit of a model to discuss, right, what would be my favorite restaurant. You can record a video to them and have them watch that as part of their prompt, or you can just leave it just the text up above. You can upload a video. So if you created a video and have it saved somewhere else, you can upload that whole long video. Like if you created a math lesson and you want them to watch that video, like you made it in Screencastify and you download it as an MP4, you could upload that here and go, guys, watch this and tell me everything you know about this math problem. You can attach YouTube or Vimeo. Vimeo may not work just because of our settings for kids, and YouTube may not work either. But you can also give them links. That's a whole other subject. You can go through these other platforms as well. For our purposes, keeping it very simple, record your own video or upload a video that you made. Maybe you want to give them a YouTube video to respond to. If I scroll down just a little bit more, I could click create topic and let it sit right there, but I want to look at more options. I want this to maybe be a little bit more, I want a little bit more control over what they're going to see and do. Topic tip, you can give them some more things to think about, some clues. You can give them attachments or links to other outside sources for them to use as a resource to be able to be better informed when they make their video recording. Topic status changes whether this is a live opportunity for students to record. For active, down to frozen, means they can still watch the videos, but they cannot record anything new. This is locked in time. They can go see it. They can watch other kids' videos if they're there, or watch your video, but they can't interact anymore. Below that is hidden. You're taking it out of sight. These videos are no longer visible. You can also create it so that there is a specific date that this will go live and a freeze date that they will no longer be able to record anymore. So guys, you have 2 days to respond to my prompt. If after 2 days you don't respond, you don't get to add to our class discussion. So you can freeze things up. Video features, you can change up the different styles. Do you want them to have access to put on stickers? They can like put masks on. They can do all kinds of funky things, put emojis over on their video or their selfies. You can leave that turned on so they can do both. Only have their selfies have stickers on, that kind of fun stuff. Videos only or none. It's just, I only want you to talk directly about what I'm talking about. I don't want all the other stuff along the way. Sometimes our kids get so caught up in the bells and whistles, they don't actually pay attention to here's the content, answer my question. They're going to spend 20 minutes trying to make their emoji go into the right spot, right? So you can decide, you want them to have access to all these extra fun little tools. And again, you can open these up anytime you create a new grid or new topic, create a new topic. You can decide, do you want them to have access to that or not? Video title, do you want them to add video titles, make it hashtag enabled, turn that on or off, view count, and right across from it are likes. Knowing our kids, knowing how kids are in the social media world, when they look to see if somebody's watching their video or if somebody likes their video, it can get a little personal. Like, why does Sherry have 25 views and 15 likes and I have 1 view and nobody likes my video? So thinking about your kids, thinking about their psyche, do we want them to feel good about the number of likes they get, or are we afraid that there might be this scenario where they're not getting likes and they're not getting views? Depending on you and your kids, you can turn these on or off. Do we want them to be able to give a attachment link? So we're asking them to record something for us, and we're asking them to turn in the Google Doc that they created to go along with it. So they wrote their report on Abraham Lincoln, and they're going to talk to you for 5 minutes about Abraham Lincoln when they turn it in. Sticky notes. Do you want them to be able to post something up on their recording so that there's a text while they're talking? And do we want them to reply to each other? Again, you can turn these on and off at any point. Feedback. This is where you get to go in after there's a recording and give them feedback. You can record a response, or you can give them a grade. You can give them text-based feedback or no feedback at all. It's up to you. So I'm going to click Create Topic now. I went through all my settings. I'm good to go. I want to get this out to my kids. Because we're kind of talking about how all of our tools wind up working together, the best way to get this to students is through Google Classroom, because one, we know it's our students who are signing up for our class are the ones that are going to get it. If you click Share to Classroom, you don't have to worry about copying and pasting or any of that other kind of fun stuff. You click Share to Classroom. There will be a drop down that appears here for all the classes that you have available. Once it loads, there it is. Click my drop down. What class? Oops, I don't want to mess with Susie's. Yeah, let's do this one. And then, because we know our Google Classroom, Do I want this to be an assignment? Do I want this to ask a question, make an announcement? Wherever I want this to live, if I'm expecting students to turn this in for some sort of a grade or some sort of enrichment and give them extra credit, whatever, click on how you want that set up. You click go, and it takes you to your screen, just like it would in Google Classroom, setting up like you would for a normal assignment. All right. All right. So I have my top level. I have my grid created. Happy Friday. I have my topic Friday, and then below that I can add a focus here. I can add some more material. Here's my code. If I have an outside guest that I would like to be able to join in, this was brought up before, like maybe you have a outside partner that you've been working with all year, or you have some great resource you've been talking with, or another teacher. You can click add topic guests and bring them in to be able to record. Like Sherry's been visiting my classroom all year. I want her to be able to say hi to the kids and make a recording. I could click add that, turn on guest mode, and put her email in and let her know that she's been invited to make a recording. Going across the top, click the share button. Again, how am I getting this to my kids? Google Classroom's awesome. Best way to do it, my opinion. Next door to that is actions. So do I want to record a response? So this is me recording a response to my topic. Add guests again. Add to the Disco library. I made this great topic that I want the whole world to be able to have access to. Gave great resources. I could add this to that teacher community that somebody else could pull down. They don't mess with your original. They pull it down and they use it for themselves. Hide topic, move the topic to a different grid, duplicate it. That might be a good idea for a topic you created and you're like, I'm going to use this for my first hour kids. I'm going to duplicate this and then use the new one that I made, the duplicate, for my second hour kids, and so on down the line. Export data. That creates a spreadsheet to show how many videos were made, how many views were there, all that kind of fun stuff, just general information. Going over one more button, edit the topic. That takes me back in, and I can go back through this and alter whatever I need. Like, oops, I forgot to turn on moderation. I go back in and edit. All right. I'm going to go back to my grid. So I'm going to go back to my grids now. Again, big umbrella. We went from big umbrella to topic, which is a lesson or just a discussion plate underneath that. I'm going to go and click on my so grid again, big umbrella, go across to actions. And this is where I get to bring in a little bit more information or enhance my settings for my grid, my big umbrella. Do I want to edit it? I could, or just click the pencil. I could bring in co-pilots. So that means Sherry's been co-teaching with me all year. I want her to be able to be a moderator, to post things in here. I want her to be able to add material or ask questions and interact with with our kids. I can add a co-pilot by clicking that, putting their email address, and they have the same kind of responsibilities and rights in your grid as you do. Again, duplicate the whole grid, duplicate the whole umbrella. Grid notifications, some people have asked about this. You can turn on or off whether you get a notification if there's new posts that have been put into your grid. You click on that, and there's some settings. Do I want to know if there's new people adding to information, or do I just want that turned off and I'll go check on my own? Don't worry about team integrations. We're not focusing in on Microsoft Teams at this point. Export data for the whole grid and delete the grid. All right. So that's the big overview of how you set up the big umbrella, and then underneath it, how you set up topics. Mixtapes, again, you can add videos to a mixtape. These are some responses. They were awesome. I'm going to keep on adding these in because these are the highlights of my year. Going across the top, again, our subjects or our tabs across the very top of Flipgrid. Grid Pals, don't do this. Just leave this alone for now. Disco Library allows you to go through and grab somebody else's pre-made stuff. You're looking for a great idea about, once it stops spinning, you're looking for some great ideas from other people. Come on down a little bit. Multi-step word. Ooh, that looked interesting. Let me scroll back up a little bit if it lets me. Oh, Hero Wax Museum. Sure. Let's click on that. So I'm going to click on this one and see what it's about. Here's all the different resources that it has. It has a YouTube video. It has a website. Has a brain pop video. Has this description here. Cool. It has all this information. I love this idea. Click the grid you want to add this to and click add. That's literally all you have to do. You find a great topic, add it to your room, make your settings what you want, and update the topic, and now it lives in your grid. Super simple. Use other people's resources, but if you use one, you know, kind of like that, take one, you know, the penny at the cash register, take one, give one, share back if you make some really great things. And shorts, don't play with shorts. This is you making a recording and sending out to the world. That's a whole nother ball of wax. All right. So talked at you for 38 minutes. Sherry, what questions do we have?
Okay, we have a couple. We have one that says, does export data make it viewable to students or just the teacher?
Just the teacher. It just creates an Excel file that shows hits, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Views.
Okay. Good. Then we also have, would you get double notifications if you posted it in Classroom and you have Classroom notifications on plus notifications from Flipgrid? Would you get double notifications?
Yep, they're two separate systems. So you pick your poison. Do you want to know at all? Turn them both off, turn one of them on, turn the other off. That's your choice. But yeah, you would get double notifications.
Okay, and then one more question. Can you delete the welcoming grid? Are you able to get rid of that?
Yep. You can get rid of any grid. When you create a new grid, you get the welcome topic too. You can get rid of that as well. One click, delete it. To show you what it looks like from the teacher side when somebody's recorded. So then we keep this active. Let's go to Julia. All right. So Julia, I hope you don't mind. Now that I can hear your voice, I know that your microphone's working. So here's Julia's. A much better path. Again, layer of protection. So she's recording and you hear me in the background. She's waving. Cool. All right. So what this is, so I went in as the teacher, the person who created this, and I'm looking at her topic, her video she created. I can star this to feature this, to kind of put this out there, like, oh, this is a great response. This is a model response. This is an exemplar of what I hope to see. Below that is Spark Video. That actually would take Julia's video and put it into my grid as a brand new topic. Like this is such a great discussion point. I want to branch off and have this be its own topic. You could click that Spark Video and decide where is that going to live, and it's a brand new topic. Mixtape, again, you decide. This is so good. I'm going to add this to my mixtape so everybody sees this as this exemplar. You can you can create a rubric, right? Change up the rubric, edit it so it's more proficiency based. Add comments to it. Oops. Sorry about that. You can add comments to the video. Much better path. Again, layer protection. Stop there. Okay. So add comments in, type in there. You can record your own response to that. Like, Julia, I absolutely love Taco Bell. You're right. It's the greatest restaurant in the history of the world. And record that back. And then she would get that response. What else do we do here? Edit it. You can change this information up. Actions, you can move this to mixtape, move the response to somewhere else. You know what? She really responded to a different topic we were talking about. So I'm going to move it over, duplicate her response so it can live in multiple places. Download the video. So we had some art teachers in, theater people are like, you know what? Like, this is a wonderful monologue. The student recorded a monologue. I want this to be part of their portfolio. You can actually download the video, put it and save it into your Google Drive. Like, this is part of their assessment. Wonderful job. I'm going to record this and download it and save it somewhere else. Download the selfie. If she took a selfie, you can download that and you can delete the response. The share button, again, how do you want to share this out? Her response, do you want to share this to the class or copy this and send it out some other way? Again, this is from the teacher side. So students don't get to do all these things. From the teacher side, you get to do that. All right. Other questions, Sherry?
That was all. You must be very clear today, as there aren't very many questions.
Either I'm very clear or I have everybody so lost they don't know where to start. Yeah, so I'm going to stick on for a few more minutes. Sherry, I think Sherry posted the attendance. Did you do that already, Sherry?
Not yet. I'm going to do that right now.
Okay. So please fill out the attendance form that we give you. Give us feedback if you'd like. And you are more than welcome right now. Stay in line for a few more minutes. I do have to facilitate the next session, which is about Jamboard. It's going to be awesome. Susie Lucen is running that. So if you want to learn more about Jamboard, an interactive whiteboard that you could use with your students through Google Classroom and through Meets, you might want to check that out. That's next with a different link. But if there aren't a ton of questions, hop in here right now and play around and practice your settings. Even maybe send the code out inside the chat and have each other play around a little bit.
There is one more question that came up. Okay. Could you go back and show how you can, where did I just lost it? Where you can post your own, record your own question in the grid. So I know that there's that spot where you first create your grid where you can do that. Can you show that again, please?
Yep. So I'm going to go to My Grids, and you don't record something for your whole grid. You're going to record something for a topic. So I'm going to go into Happy Friday and go to my Friday post. And if I click on the edit button, so down below, I can record a response here. So there's one way. I can open this up and go to record a video. And if I click that, I don't want to do that right now because I'm recording and I have too many things open, and also my camera is facing the wrong way. So let me change that around. There we go. So I could do a recording from here. And from this spot, I also have the ability to make a filter as I'm recording, put some text over it, put stickers on my face while I'm recording, do some drawings, board and photo sticker, so you could actually do some of that other kind of fun stuff as you're recording your video. As kids get more proficient, you can release some of these tools to them too, right? But I wouldn't right off the bat do that because they get more, it's more about like, oh, I'm going to make this look funny and cool than about actually like, hey, I want to hear what you actually are thinking, or how are you doing, instead of you know, like it doesn't have the filter like a Snapchat or something where it makes you moves your face and bunnies and all that kind of stuff, but you can do other things with it. We can put masks on. So you can click record a video from here. And if you already have a pre-made video, you could upload a video that you made too. Like maybe you made a video outside, like greetings everybody, standing outside, checking out nature. I have this video already recorded. I could upload that as my response to the students.
Todd, we had a couple more questions. One from Marie. Can you slow your speed? Is there a way to control the speed of the video?
Not that I am aware of.
Okay.
There might be. I haven't played around with that setting if there is one.
Okay. And then how do you edit a video? So if you made a video but you realize that it cut off before your ending, do you just re-record, or is there a way to edit that?
I would suggest re-record. You can. There is a way to edit and trim down, but I don't know about if you actually are able to add on. camera. So you could, I believe you can add on more when you're done. So record, 3, 2, 1. Happy Friday, everybody. And click, if you hit the trash can, you can redo it. Go to next. And then you could add, everybody. You can add more onto it, and it does allow you to add more segmented in. And I believe you also can trim it down. If you know something happens in the background, you can trim it a little bit. All right. So I'm going to go to the last slide on the presentation then, and just talk about the different ways that Flipgrid has been used, can be suggested to be used. I think a tool like this, it has so many amazing possibilities. When I've talked to speech path people, said, you know what, have the students record themselves, whether, you know, like when we're back at school, so students can even watch back, you know, their speech articulation, hear themselves, see themselves. What a wonderful tool for that, and it's saved here. Create a system where you do, for little ones, a fluency every month. Check their fluency. Give them a book to read, just like the good old Jerry John's days. Have them do a recording, check fluency, and then go back and show, look, parents, here's September, here's October, November. Look how much better they're reading now. How cool would that be? Karaoke. If your ears can handle the karaoke version of your students singing to you. State of the classroom newscasts, science fair showing, you know, like they could record themselves doing their science fair experiment. Some really amazing tools here that are ideas that could be used. We had a SST at Trowbridge that went around to classrooms, had her students do a math problem on a whiteboard, and then the kids held it up and went and said, this is how I solved this math problem. I knew I had too many in this column in my ones, so I carried over a number, and you know, like, it was very cool because, again, our students, their ability to articulate what they know versus what they draw on a math problem or write on a math problem, so much more in depth if they can discuss it and really own that by explaining it. Any other ideas about what you might use Flipgrid for if we don't have questions? You can either put those in the chat or just shout them out.
There's a question about the next training. Do we stay on this same Google Meet link for the next training?
No, you don't. But I will grab that. I will grab that link for Jamboard. Oops. Make sure that's not the one we're in right now. Doesn't look like it. All right, so Susie, I copy that, and I'll paste that into our chat for the next session if you want to go there. All right. So, Sherry, do you want to stay on and answer just a few more questions while I head over to Susie and able to facilitate?
Yeah, I can do that.
Awesome. And there's some questions about other videos and other sessions. Anything that we have recorded, which I'm going to stop recording in just a moment. Upcoming sessions on the bottom of our screen here, upcoming events, and then past events. And if it is recorded, you will see the event link here, and if it was recorded, the tag video recording, and it's either coming from someone's Google Drive, pardon me, or YouTube. So those are all the links for our past events. And if there are docs or forced copies of different slides, all that kind of fun stuff, you can get those there as well and go through and kind of do your own self-paced. All right. Thank you, everybody. You guys rock. Thank you for coming out today. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Again, Todd Hartwig. Feel free to email me, and I can get back to you. I'm not going to go back and check the grids today, so I'm not going to. Maybe a little bit later, I'll check out all the different suggestions for great restaurants. Please patronize those other ones that are available out there. All right, and everybody have a great day. I'm going to stop recording now, and I'm going to leave. Have a wonderful Friday.